Hello and welcome to the Drennan Knockout Cup final. Well, after 5 very hard-fought rounds, we're now down to the last 2. We've got Didcote and Simon Fry through to a 2-day final. Today we're on the River Wye at Hereford, and tomorrow we're off to Didcote Pools. Again, 2 very, very different venues to what they've experienced before. I've been joined today by Mark Williams, my colleague who shared the journey with us. And Mark, it's been a hell of a journey for these 2 anglers, hasn't it?
It's been great. It's been really, really good to watch everything develop. We've had 90 anglers to start with, and we've now ended up with 2. And whoever wins will certainly deserve the trophy and to be our champion of this year and the Drennan Knockout Cup. We started at Woodlands with 90 anglers on spread over like 5 pools.
Where a lot of good anglers got knocked out.
It was just a case, as we followed the scales around, these guys just wanted to get to the 32. There was nothing special needed. They didn't want to win the match, they just wanted to qualify, where it just then gets harder and harder. Ian sort of shone at Packington, really. He put an awesome display of pole fishing, caught 40 pound of like caster roach, where everybody else went for bigger fish, for the easier option, as it were. Yeah. And we've just had a really, really great time.
Went to the Thames.
Yeah, that was just a couple of bream as such, saw both anglers through, but they both persevered with those tactics.
I think, like you, I think the nice thing about this particular event is that when we get down to that last sort of 32, then 16, and we've shared this journey a few times with different people now, the effort that they put in, if they're not familiar with the venue, they put the time in, they put the practice in. The Kennington Avon Canal match was a real battle of tiny fish, wasn't it?
That was probably the hardest match to qualify from, I would say, if I had to say something, because they were all very, very good sort of speed anglers. It was a one-method way. It was fishing the whip or very short pole and catching lots of small fish. Ian there got through by beating Steve Sanders by a couple of ounces. Had he not have had a couple of fish here and there, he wouldn't even be in the semi-final, let alone today's final. Ian's probably will count that as his lucky match. Boddington, I like Boddington. I fished it quite a lot this summer, and I spoke to both of these guys, along with the other 2 before the match, and they put a lot of effort in.
I know you were very impressed by what they achieved as well, weren't you, with what you've seen?
It's a commercial fishery, but it's slightly different in that everything works differently there for some reason. And these 2 guys, they turned up on all the matches, they fished, they put a lot of effort in, and they come out top. Those 2 were the top 2 guys. They both had over 200 pound of fish, and now they're here. They both got here, and I've never seen this river before until this morning, and they've only seen it once or twice before as well. So it's like, it's the end, but it's the start of now a final for them, and they've just got to try and do their best today.
I reckon it'll be £30 plus to win. It could be as much as 40. I don't think it'll be much more because of the conditions, but you never know with the River Wye. Sometimes you can really struggle on a similar river. It just depends where the fish are going. So I think we're in for a great day one. I don't think there'll be a lot in it at the end of this. Hopefully there won't be. And we're looking forward to it. So I hope you enjoy the match as much as we're looking forward to it. We'll see you later. Come on, mate. Well, the match is about halfway through now, and I've been joined by a good friend of mine, Adrian Whittle, who I rate as probably the best angler on this river. That's a good plug for you, isn't it?
Yeah, cheers, Dave.
Adrian's been here from the start. Now, Adrian spent a lot of time coaching Simon Fry, and we've had the local tackle dealer, Paul Woodward, coaching in Didcote. So quite a little battle going on between the 2 of them there, not just between the 2 anglers, between you 2 as well, I think. But you've been here from the start. It wasn't a great start, was it? But probably a start that we weren't surprised with.
No.
How do you think it's gone so far, looking at what you've seen?
Well, as you say, we had a half an hour waited for a bite, and then the fish moved up. I think it was safe to say after an hour Simon was probably ahead. Ian struggled on the bollo and then was catching very small fish on the pole. But then it became apparent around about the hour mark that the small fish seemed to move up into Simon's peg, and Ian started to catch properly on the pole. Simon's tried the pole maybe 3 or 4 times during the match and just hasn't been able to put any fish together on it at all, other than very small days. Because I think Ian's been on the pole for probably over 2 hours now, and he's kept fish coming and coming and coming. So although Simon's catching, Ian has been slowly opening up a lead. Not a great lead, but a lead nonetheless.
Well, we've seen a few tactics in use today, haven't we? I mean, there's been pole fishing, there's been waggler fishing, and there's been bollo fishing. But just talk a little bit. I mean, you obviously helped Simon quite a lot with the game plan and all that, or with the tactics. What was the plan on this level for the start?
Well, to feed 2 lines bait. I mean, it's a rising river today. It's risen over a foot now, so you know it's going to be changing. The river's going to change as the match goes on. But basically, we feed 2 lines, 1 1/3 and a pole line, expecting to bring the fish on the line at a third, and then draw them in onto the pole line. Unfortunately, for some reason, that hasn't worked. Now, fishing being fishing, sometimes the best laid plans do come a little bit unstuck.
It's a live, tiny fish over there in it as well.
Yeah, Simon is having a problem. He's struggling. He's got, I would say, too many fish in his peg. Really, he's fishing waggler and bollo. He's getting all the bites on the drop, and it's fish ranging from ½ an ounce to 5 or 6 ounce.
Okay, now stick your neck out. What do you think is going to be the winning weight today?
At the moment, going on what they're catching at the moment, I would say Didier will win it with about £27.
I said about 30 this morning. So we're more or less on the same track as what we think about it. It's been a cracking match so far, so let's go and see the rest of it, and we'll see you later.
Excellent, thanks.
Well, we anticipated some decent scores this morning when we first spoke about the match, and I think I went for a £30 prediction. It's been even better than that. Ian's finished with £37.4. Simon's ended on £26.6. It's been a really interesting match. The river's come up about 2 to 2.5 foot during the course of the 5 hours, and that has led to different approaches. We've seen bollo play a part, we've seen waggler play a part, pole to hand. At the end, Simon's been catching perch, Ian's been catching roach. So it's been a really good match, and it really sort of proves testimony to the venue. I think it's been a great match and a worthy choice for our final. Mark, I know Simon's disappointed. He's £10 something behind, so he looks disappointed. But we're going to Didcote tomorrow, where there could be some big weights, couldn't there?
Yeah, I don't think he should be disappointed at all. You know, okay, he is behind by just under £11, but you could go to Didcote tomorrow. You could have his first fish, could cancel that out straight away. There's fish in that lake that go to £20. Whether they're caught regularly, we don't know. And anything can happen. In practice, and the bailiffs and everybody else have been saying that it could be at least £100 tomorrow. They both could have £100. One of them could. It just depends how it goes.
Too early fish and his level again.
It's nothing really. You know, we're going to a carp lake tomorrow. We've been on a river where if it had been the other way round and we'd have come here with a £10 lead, that would have been hard to make up. But you know, tomorrow anything can happen.
Well, that's the end of part 1 of the Drennan Knockout Cup final. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we'll see you in part 2. Cheers.